All right, so I welcome you all once again to today's edition. In today's class, we are going to look out for two things to summarize the stakeholder impact and map the stakeholder influence against their power, their interest, in fact, their position. So in short, we just have to summarize today's outline. We just have to summarize stakeholder analysis, the models. Why do we conduct stakeholder analysis? Please, you must know. Why? Why? What's the rationale behind? You see, when they give you the pre-scene, the very first thing you must do is stakeholder analysis, not anything. Anytime pre-scene arrived, apply the stakeholder analysis. And all those who went, who agree with me, and the last thing they did, they saw stakeholder analysis. Yes. Although it's not every student that will ask you. So that's what we do first. Summarize it. You've done it. Number two, we'll look out for what you call questions, practical questions on stakeholder analysis. Stakeholder analysis. All right, so that is that. That is what we are going to look out for today. So take notice. First of all, summarize of stakeholder analysis. Summarize of stakeholder analysis. And then we move. The summary point of stakeholder analysis. You see, most often, you make decisions without consulting your stakeholders, and they have vital impact. You see, some of them, they will fully support your argument, your strategy. So you must know your key stakeholders and how they can influence your activity. So the stakeholder analysis, we are only want to know how our key stakeholders, who are they? And second, what is their impact on our business or activity? All right, so we are back. So sorry about that. Yes, today's class, just expect little fluctuation of the internet. Because there are two issues currently. Light out versus rain. Anytime there's one, it affects our internet system, the whole country. Rain and bad internet are inevitable. Oh. All right, so that is that. Please, let's continue. So first of all, we have to do stakeholder analysis. Why there? So why do we have to conduct stakeholder analysis? For two reasons. Analysis. Even though there are two main models that we use for stakeholder analysis, why do we conduct this stakeholder analysis? Why? There's a reason why we conduct this. So whichever model you are using, there's a reason for that. So why? You must know the reason. So that if you are reading a case study, and you come across the reason in the case, you can now deduce that this year they will ask us stakeholder analysis, because I can see clearly that there's a reason for us to know who our key stakeholders are and what are their influence, their impact. That's all. So it's very important. You see, there are only two reasons why we conduct what stakeholder analysis. Yes. Over here, first of all, we must know reasons for stakeholder analysis. Reasons. One, to identify the stakeholder group of the entity. To identify what? The stakeholder group. Stakeholder group. The most important one is number two, to identify their influence. So to identify one, their influence. Some of the stakeholders, they have a positive influence, so you have to tell them. You have to keep them informed. They have a positive influence. Some of them too, they have a negative influence, antagonist. They're always opposing your strategy. Anything you do that doesn't sound nice, like your competitors. What do you have to do? So take notice. Number two, know their power. In fact, the influence and power is in the same category. And the last one, their interests. Yes. Yes. If you know that some of the stakeholder really loves you, you always share issue with that stakeholder. If you know that some of the stakeholder they don't love you, don't have interest, please. If you don't have interest, do not inform anything about them. So these people like this, you have to have a very close exchange of information. So this one, you must inform. They need information. Anybody that has interest, the way to manage that person is to keep the person informed. Give him information, a lot, excessive. Anyone that does not have interest in organization, please do not. Do not. Anyone who does not have interest, the guy is not interested in the work that you do. Stop telling him the information. Stop telling him what you do. He's not interested, so stop providing information. Excessive information could cause a problem. Then those that have power. Power. You see, if you are making a decision without giving reference to your key stakeholders that have power, they may shut your decisions down. So in that case, what do? You keep them informed or you keep them satisfied. Satisfied with their conditions because they have power. Their rules and regulations, if you don't go by it, they'll shut you down. Typical example is Men's Gold. Men's Gold could have survived if they could have taken care of their stakeholder analysis. Men's Gold collapsed because they failed to analyze that there's what? A stakeholder who have power. They were interested in stakeholders who have interest, like customers. They don't have powers. Those customers that deposit money, they don't have powers. Could you imagine that when Bank of Ghana came out and come and warn Men's Gold that Men's Gold, your activities are illegal, be careful. Around 17th of October 2017, even customers were insulting Bank of Ghana that, Bank of Ghana, the guy is giving us a dividend. What's your problem now? Oh yeah, allow us. There's no bank in Ghana that will give us a very nice, attractive interest rate like this. Please don't come and sabotage anybody's business for us. Customers were defending Men's Gold. And Men's Gold was happy. Strategically, it was his downfall because those people who support you don't have power. Unfortunately, those people who don't support you have the power to shut you down. So stakeholder analysis to a strategic organization that collapsed Men's Gold. Men's Gold could have still been in business. Could have still been in business because when it triggered, all the stakeholder institutions, regular SEC, Bank of Ghana, IOCO, BNI, all of them start chasing the guy. You won't survive it because they have the power to shut you down. And then the influence. Yes, the influence, stakeholder influence. So these are the reasons why we conduct stakeholder analysis. The interest can also be translated into expectation. Anybody that have interest, they have expectation. Of course, anybody that has interest in any organization, there's some kind of what expectation. Customers, they expect their money to be paid. Customers of Men's Good expect their money to be paid. The same way customers of the organization expect quality products. So there's always an expectation that attached to an interest. Anybody that is interested in you, that person expects one or two things from you. And then that is all. So as a result of this, then we have what? Models. So those models are going to help us to analyze, one, the stakeholder group that we have, and then group them into what? Those that have power, influence, and interest. And I'll start with the most popular one. Unfortunately, that one did not come last sitting. The most popular one did not come last sitting. And all of them is 2x2 matrix. 2x2 simple means it uses 2 dimensions, 2 items, and then we are what? Bringing them together. That is what we mean by what? 2x2 matrix. Good. Or stakeholder map. So stakeholder mapping. Stakeholder mapping. You see? Now, after you have analyzed your stakeholders, and now know this, please. After you have analyzed your stakeholders, you have assessed your stakeholders, and you know their power, their interest, their influence, then you now put them into a very nice statement. That statement is called stakeholder mapping. So stakeholder mapping is just the result of what? Stakeholder analysis. After you conduct the stakeholder analysis, now we know those that have power. Put them in a very nice mapping. So last sitting's exams, I was expecting students to map it very well and put them in a diagram. So you can draw a table quadrant, as we are going to do today. And we'll look at it carefully. So take notice of that. So stakeholder mapping simple means putting the results of what? Of stakeholder analysis. So after your stakeholder assessment, putting them together is what we mean by what? Stakeholder mapping. So it's like now you've identified all those stakeholders that have power, all those that have interest, all those that have influence, those that their own is more, those that their own is like minor power, minor influence. Putting all this in a very nice table is called what? Stakeholder mapping. Again, some of the stakeholders may have 2 or 3 issues. A particular stakeholder can have interest, can also be very, very powerful, like shareholders. Shareholders have the highest interest. They also have power. Yeah, shareholder can say, okay, we are not continuing again. Let's sell the company. Let's dissolve the company. Bank of Ghana can never say that if I owe a bank and I'm selling my bank, Bank of Ghana can never tell me that I should stop. If I owe a company and I'm shutting it down, Bank of Ghana or the regulating agency can never tell me that I should shut it down. Either they will buy it from me, I fold up and go. So shareholders have highest power within the entity. They also have the highest interest because the business is for them. No wonder they receive reports, information about the company annually, and it must be audited. So that is that. So now you understand stakeholder mapping. Simple means identify the stakeholder groups and identify their power, identify their influence, put them in a very nice assessment table. It's known as what? Stakeholder mapping. I'm done with stakeholder mapping. It's just a one way of presenting the stakeholder analysis or the assessment. Just one way of presenting it. And then we are free to go. Now, let me start with Almighty, the Mendeley, power, and then the interest matrix. Power and interest. So that one is 2x2. 2x2 in a sense that, so stakeholder mapping, we can use 2 models. Mendeley used what we call power and interest matrix. So the 2 by 2. So it's about power and it's about what? Interest, high and low. That's all. So take note, power and interest, high and low. So let me summarize that one here. What happened to Mendeley? Why did Mendeley wake up one day and come and tell us that he's coming up with power? Mendeley argued that some stakeholder group, they are very powerful. So if you are making a decision and you don't consider them, your decision is zero. Because whatever they will say is final. So why can't you consult them first? Why can't you look at their impact first before you make your decision? So that you won't waste time and make your decision. By the time you realize, they say, no way, we will not understand. And you have to ransack everything down. So that's what Mendeley argued. And also said that some of the stakeholders, they have interest. And those that they have interest, please try as much as possible to keep them informed. Give them a lot of information. Interest is about informed information. They need information, that's all. Power is only about satisfying them. So if Men's Gold could have satisfied Bank of Ghana, SEC, and EOCO, for their customers, they could have still managed with them and pay them. So that is that. So now let's look at how. When you say power, what's it about? When you say interest, so these are the two. And it can be low, it can be high. Power. When you say power, what is it? You see? Power is like your ability to influence something, your ability to change the direction of something. The ball is coming towards my direction. I have a superpower, so I change the direction of the ball to somewhere else. That's power. The people have made their decision. As soon as they enter the meeting, they are going to redo the decision again because there's a powerful person who have entered their midst. That's the power we are talking about. And normally we can range it from scale of what? 0 up to 10. Here's the weak. And here's what? Strong. So from 0 to 10. 5 is medium or moderate. So that is that. So that is how Mendeley argued. Then the interest. You see, if there are two people, when a company collapses and a company is who will suffer most? The person that will have the highest interest will suffer most, two of us. No wonder when a company collapses, shareholders take the last money. Yes, because they have the highest interest in the organization. So the interest here, it's only about ability to receive return. Interest about return. Who has the power to receive return, dividend, profit of the company? Will Bank of Ghana receive return? Will Security and Exchange Commission receive return for Men's Gold? Never. So those regulatory agencies, they have zero interest. They are not interested in your business because even if you make billions of profits, they won't share with you. But they have power. Yes. So that is how we are going to model it. So it's about power and it's about what? Interest. Good. Interest to weak, 0, powerful, and then to very let's say very interested. Let's say positive 10. So that one can also range from where? 0 to 10. Check 0 to what? 10. Positive 10. So if you have 0, that means either your interest is very weak. Now let's see how Mendeley model this. Now Mendeley model this as this. All right. Now Mendeley said that, you see, power can be 0. So here, first, You can write the power here or interest here, but let's follow a particular order. How Mendeley give it to us. So the interest. So let me write the interest here. And don't forget that the interest can be what? High or low. Do you agree that the interest can be high or low? So the interest can be low. What's the rate? 0. Interest can also be what? High. What's the rate? Positive 10. If I'm here, I don't know whether I have interest or I don't have interest. Those people, they are confused. They don't know whether they have interest or they don't even have interest. They are the middle. Again, Mendeley also argued that you can also have power, ability to influence things, ability to command things. It can also be low. Of course, your power can be low. It can also be very high, very powerful. Positive 10 and 0, right? Good. So ideally, this is how we should present it. Ideally, this is how we should present the Mendeley's theory. Here, please, in exams, don't be writing this and come and write minimal effort. You only copying textbook knowledge to us. In exams, we want to see you writing stakeholders, their names. Who is here? Who is here? Write their name like marking register, marking register, marking register. Write the stakeholders name for us. Company by company. Then when they're done, they tell us what you are going to do for them. Because now you've identified the stakeholder group. You've identified their power, their influence. So what are you going to do to solve their problem? That's all. So that's the reason why we study this particular. So let me start from here. I normally name it A, B, C, and then what? D. A, in fact, these are the people that we call them the minimal effort. In fact, for them, they just forget about them. There are some people who don't have even one city interest in organization. They don't have power to, but they are always making noise on the organization. So Mendeley suggests that such people, they have what you call minimal effort. They don't have influence on organization. They don't have influence on organization. They have minimal effort. For them, everything is low. So over here, A, with quadrant A, low power, low interest. So every company, you tell us that, oh, this company, I suggest, who are they? And it varies from company to company. Yes, it varies from company to company. Maybe one particular company, a particular stakeholder, has a minimal effort. In other hand, it was the highest powerful, or it has the highest interest and highest power. So take notice that it varies from case study to case study, question to question. So it doesn't mean that when I mention customer here, everywhere you see customer, they have a minimal effort. Like doesn't work that way. What if that customer is the, how do you call it, monopoly? That he's the only one that can buy from you. When he stop buying from you, in fact, your company collapse. Nobody buys from you again. So take notice of that. That is how we conduct the analysis. The analysis is not static, it's flexible. So let's take notice of that. So it's a minimal effort. These are the stakeholder group that for them they possess minimal. So here do not reduce the communication. Here reduce the communication. Reduce the communication. Or frequent contact. Reduce it. Reduce the communication. Reduce the communication. and then we move with the game. Again, Mendelo also argued that moving to the right side over here. So if I'm here, what happened? Let's just assume that I'm moving slowly to this side. So B, quadrant B, what happened to quadrant B? B, what's the features? What are the security features of B? Interest is what? High. Interest is high. What about power? Power is it low or high? Here, power is low, high. Have you seen? Power is here. So the power is low, but interest is high. So low power, but the interest is very high. Interest is what? High. Over here, the power is very low. Please, anybody that have high interest, what do? There's a strategy for them. Anyone that have interest, anyone that have high interest, what do? Interest. Have you seen it here? Give the person information. That's all. That is why when your daughter or your children go to school, they've not called you for 1 month. How do you sleep? You don't sleep because the interest is very high. You need information. How's my daughter doing? How's my company doing? How's my profit? How's my investment? Because you have interest. That's all. So here, keep informed. Keep informed. Do you get it? You keep inform them. Simple means frequent exchange of information. Frequent exchange of information. Don't let them be there for 2 years. There's no information coming up. They will never sit well. That is why at least annual financial statement they publish if it is a shareholder. Over here, you can give example like some key employees, key employees and key customers. They possess that kind of ability. Yes, the employees, they have interest because that is where they get their source of income. Likewise, the customers, where they sell their goods. So for such team, they have high interest. Unfortunately, they have no power to shut your business down. They have no power to shut your business down. Their power is very low. We have some people that they always pray for you in secret chambers. They always pray for you because they know that you are the one that give them their daily what? Blood. So at the end of the day, when they are praying, they pray some for you. But they have no power to change your working status. If they have the power, they could have made you the president of the country so that they can get more money from you. So that's that people. Always what do? Keep informed because they have interest in you. The interest is high. Then quadrant C. See what happened. What about the interest? Interest is low. Interest is very low. But the power is what? Power is high. These people, they are the dangerous people on this earth. They don't like you, but they are the most powerful people on the earth. It is very disastrous. They are the people that they are the most dangerous, more than serpents. They are the most dangerous people on this earth. So such people, whatever they say, please make sure you satisfy them all, or else they will shut your business down. So you keep satisfying them. Keep satisfying. Typical example is the regulatory institutions or regulatory bodies. Regulatory bodies like Bank of Ghana, like SEC, like Securities and Exchange Commission. Say, if you make billions of profit, they are not interested in your profit. If you pay your dues regularly, they don't have problem with you. But just flat one of their law, they will dislist you. You'll be out of the stock market right now. So what do? You always make sure that you satisfy the regulatory bodies. And that's all. So these people are the very dangerous people. At least if the person have interest, the person have what you call emotion towards you. But once the person doesn't have interest, there's nothing you do is nice to the person unless you comply with their law. No highest profit will entice Bank of Ghana unless what? You comply with the banking laws. That's all. Let the bank make consistent losses. Bank of Ghana doesn't care. So long as that bank comply with what? The banking laws, Bank of Ghana will not have a problem with the bank. Yes. Now let's go to the D. Interesting people. They have everything, all in all. So let me go to the C. The C, low power. But high what? Interest, that's the C. So anywhere you are drawing it, it can come under any quadrant. Make sure that these features doesn't change. That is what we are going to look out for. Then the D, living legend. Everything is high. High power. And what? High interest. Who are they? They are very powerful. They also have high interest. Who are they? Very high powerful. These are the people that you have to always worry yourself about. These are the people that, in fact, always worry yourself about. They are the owners, the shareholders. You call them key players. These are the key players. They have high interest too. Interest is high. What do? Over here, man, you see, over here, all what you have to do is this. Frequent exchange of information. Here, translate this word. It's the same thing here. Frequent contact or exchange of information. Very important. Again, a typical example is shareholders or owners. So me, I own my company. The next day I tell the managers, that director, MD, please, I don't want the company again. Let me shut down. Will somebody come and then skin me alive? No. I shall not do the company again. I want to use the premises to do something else. Go and file for dissolution. Nobody will do anything. Yes. So this is how it must be drawn originally. So this is how you have to look out for. Again, but if you get it, you can do it. And in fact, this one is even one. What I've done here is one of them. So you see, if I put it in quadrant pair, I'm done. This is stakeholder mapping. Wow, that's all. So I've gotten one. So here, low power, low interest. So what do? Minimal. Low power, high interest. Low power, this keep informed. You have to be informing them. Keep informed. Low power, high interest. This one, they satisfy them all. Keep satisfied. Because they have low power, but high. No. I can see low power, low power, low power here. This is high power. This one's supposed to be high power. This one is high power. The quadrant. This A, this B. This is B, C, and D. Yes. Let's go to B. B, yes. Let me keep it again. A is what? Let's go to A. A, they have low power and low what? low interest. I want to draw it in a different way. Then I go to another person. Let me bring B here. B, they have low power but high interest. Low power but high interest. Take notice, so I'm drawing a different way, which at the end of the day will get the same result. Then C, they have low interest but high power. Low interest but high power. High power. Then the last one, the D, high. Everything is on a high. High power, high interest. Good. So now let's name them. You see, the concentration should not be on the position that always this one have to be here. Minimal effort have to be the first one, have to be there. No, the concentration should be where they meet, where high power and low interest meet. What's the name do we call it? That is what we have to focus on. So here, if the power is low, interest is also low, then minimal effort. Then I'm on B. If the power is low, but the interest is high, then you keep informed. You keep informed. Because those people, they need information. Interest is high, power is low. Again, if the interest is low, power is high, the dangerous people. You keep satisfied. And that's the regulatory agencies. Finally, this one, these are the key players. I'm done. Please, I hope you get it. So look at how we have rearranged the whole storyline again. All right, so more questions. More questions. Before I do the last one, then I'll start solving questions. More questions. Please, in exams, when I ask you to do it, try and come out with those stakeholders. Don't give us a hypothetical company like, oh, these are stakeholders that they have high power. List them for us. Give us. Come on, at least write something. Yes, we are aware that they have high power, low interest. But what we don't know is who are they? Don't forget why we asked you. Don't forget to. The reason why we conduct stakeholder analysis, let's confirm. What's the reason? The first reason, to identify the stakeholder group. So if you cannot identify the stakeholder group, forget it. You can't identify stakeholders that have power, that have influence, that have interest, then forget it. That is all. So I'm done with the game. Please, more questions. I hope it's very clear.
Sir.
Yes, please.
Sir.
Yes, please.
Please, can you give us example under each quadrant, like A, B, C, D? You give first one that the Security and Exchange Commission, that's under the C, but the rest you did not give. If you can help me with it, I'll be very glad.
Okay, good. First issue, it might depend with the question or the case or the organization. Yes. The issue is that with some of the organization, a particular stakeholder can be very powerful. In the other hand, is the weakest. Good. So let's go. Low power, low interest. Low power and low interest. These are the general public. General public have interest, so they have interest in organization, but very low. They have interest, but the interest they have is very low. General public. Imagine when I talk about general public, please take notice. Let's take Kantanka for instance. Apostle Kojo Safu Kantanka. Kantanka Automobile. I am a Ghanaian. I'm staying at Accra here. I'm a general public. Because I am in the same area. I'm not closer. We have a community. The community that Apostle operates is not a general public. That one is what? Closer. That one is very close. Take notice of that. General public is like the wider. Somebody as Sunyani. He relate to Apostle because we are all in the same world, region. We're in the same continent. So that is it. That's the general public issue. Now, once we know anybody that have heard about you, general public, you get that. So general public, they have low power. Me sitting here like this, making noise. There's nothing I can do to Apostle Kojo Safu. I have interest too. Yes, Ghanaian making a car. I have very good interest in Apostle Kojo Safu. Yes. But the interest I have is very low because interest simple means profit or return. Apostle, the return hasn't come to me directly. It's indirect return. How do I get return from Apostle? When Apostle sell a car and employ people, at least it will reduce thieves. It will reduce stealing. At the end of the day, to make the country very safe, how you can put your things and nobody will be stealing from you. That's the indirect interest, and it's very low. Very low. Imagine I buy things from Apostle. I buy car and sell from Apostle. Imagine that particular interest. Compare that one to me sitting here. I don't even know the junction to Apostle, but I've heard his name. And I've watched what he has been doing on telly. Look at the interest. So that is what you mean by what? Low power, low interest, minimal effort. General public can be one. General public. And those pressure groups. Have you seen the pressure groups? Alliance for Let My Vote Count. Right now, let something happen in your vicinity. They will see concerned youths of 1111 Ayawaso. When the incidents have not happened, you don't hear their name. Oh. I don't know where they'll be hiding. Automatically, when a radio station entered there, no, they will form their leader right now. We don't know where the leader come out from. And then they will just elect him. All these stakeholder group have what? Minimal effort. They can only talk. They can only demonstrate, but they don't have power to shut you down. You don't have power to shut you down. Take notice of that. So general public is one. Then low interest, high power. We'll talk about regulatory institutions, government agencies, EPA, EPA, GRA. EPA can shut your business down one time. Those, if like ask Las Palmas, they will tell you their story. I don't want to remind them. What happened to their Circle branch? Circle branch was shut down for I think 24 hours or so by EPA. And a lot of restaurants were shut down at Circle, that vicinity. Yes. All of them, they have high power, but the interest is very low. So I'm down with quadrant C. B, low power.
Oh. Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, a question. The pressure group in the community who are demonstrating.
Yes.
You said they have high interest, but the low power. But the power that they have, the demonstration, don't you think it's enough power to make them change the course of the action because of the level of disturbances that the company probably will face because of their demonstration? Can't we consider that level of power as high? That's what I want to know.
Good. Yes, that their power could be classified as moderate because one, their power, they don't have a direct power on the entity. They normally do that so that the right state institution take it up. So they don't have power on their own to prosecute. They do that so that the right prosecution institutions will now take charge. So they can be a moderate over here. So if I'm ranging them from 0 up to, let's say, 10, I'll give them 5. Because they can stay up. They normally stay up. Those people who don't have power on their own, they stay up. It's like I want someone to beat someone for me. Me myself, I can't go and beat that person because I can't. The person will beat me. But I know someone that can beat that person. All what I'll do is that I'll try as much as possible to stir up conflict between those two people. Then I'll go and tell the other person, like, look, this guy said, hey, you, in fact, you can't fight. So what? That guy said to me, I can't fight. Hey, who is that guy? Or he even said that if you're a man like him, go to him. And I thought, okay, me, I'm coming. Then you go. So, yes, the pressure group, they exert power. They can demonstrate to fix the thing at the right position. But most often, their demonstration is to just give an indication, to just enlighten the right authority to take the power. So at the end of the day, their power will still come back to the regulatory or the law enforcement agencies to take over. So normally they thought, okay, we are doing demonstration. Have you ever seen any demonstration, especially stakeholder groups, so not a pressure group, not like they say, let me give a quick example. Workers of ECG versus pressure group who claims they are pressure group of ECG. They are not workers, so they are not nothing. But they want the tariff to be reduced, the ECG tariffs. They want it to be reduced. So they are doing demonstration. So if these two people are doing demonstration, pressure groups, and the huge consumer or the final consumers of ECG, they are also doing demonstration. Which of these will be heard very fast? Is it the pressure group or the customers or the workers? You can see that. Yes, please.
The workers, the workers will have much influence than the pressure group in this case.
Thank you.
I think that ECG is have a monopoly power.
Yes, please. But they will still have stakeholders.
I'm looking at a situation whereby the pressure group in the community are also customers of the company. They can boycott your.
Good. In that case, you are combining two stakeholders together. The guy is a pressure
so I'm
group.
looking at pressure group that are also
A customer.
Is the community.
It's the community.
They are your customers.
Good.
They can boycott your product. Can that be seen as a source of power to make the organization change its course of action?
Yes. When those two, in fact, anytime two or more stakeholder group combine, they can exert powerful.
Hello, sir. Am I still here?
Yes. Please, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Please, can you hear me?